Good afternoon and welcome in. This is Stick and Hack Reacts. I'm your host, Adam Grubb from Stick and Hack. That's Keith Stewart, ESPN Radio, host of the Pro Show every Friday, as well as creator of Read the Line, where you go for your betting news and analysis. Keith Stewart, good to see you. Today's show is dedicated to firsts, okay? Mostly first.
All right.
First, perhaps.
Okay.
First question mark.
Sure.
Right?
All right.
First in the Stick and Hack world, which could really be anything. So here's our reaction. First up is the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Tom Hoge wins for the very first time on the PGA Tour. First time winner, a household name in many households across the nation when it comes to golf. But how cool is that? Tom Hoge wins, and it's the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Which, first of all, give me your reaction, and then explain the format, and then tell me a little bit about Tom Hoge.
Okay. I'm super psyched about Tom Hoge. So let me just get that out of the way. 2 thumbs up. That's back-to-back weeks where guys have had over 200 starts. I think it was 205 for Luke List, 201 starts for Tom Hoge, and they win absolutely great. The AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, it's killing me, man. I don't know how much more I can take of Macklemore and Alfonso Ribeira's swing and Bill Murray. You know, it's just so much. I really just want to watch the golf. I want to see the stories take place on the golf course. You know, not everybody loves Raymond. I mean, I don't know if you knew that, Adam, but not everybody does. And, you know, Ray Romano hitting it in a greenside bunker, you know, from the member tees just doesn't do it for me. So hopefully, well, at least this is our last Pro-Am of the year on tour, so we're done with all of these rotating golf courses and all that shtick. So Waste Management this week, we're back to real golf, and I'm excited about it. So, but I mean, for all of us that are that really follow golf, guys like Tom Hoge winning this weekend over a Jordan Spieth, over a Patrick Cantlay, like pulling through and doing it, back 932, 4 birdies. The guy, he's a tremendous ball striker, and it was cool to see that kind of see him believe in himself and take that next step and win. So I thought it was cool.
All right, so let's go through some of the facts here, okay? Fact number 1, Jordan Spieth was literally on a cliff, inches from death, falling down this massive cliff. It is one of the most, will be an iconic Jordan Spieth shot, and I mean literal shot of him over this cliff, hitting this golf shot.
So,
right?
So you got to stop right there. Could you even stand there? Because I couldn't. I don't do heights, so there's just no way, right? They the next day on Sunday they brought in a side camera view, and they said how high it was. It was 68 feet off the cliff down to the beach. I mean, I couldn't stay. I couldn't even go near that ball, let alone.
It's hard to watch, but it was awesome to watch. But he looked back at his caddy right afterwards. Awesome. He goes, wow, that was tougher than I thought. That was scarier than I thought. But it was a cool moment for the tournament. But I do need to go back, because the entire point of and what we've talked about in the past, and I'm not arguing with you, but is to get more people involved in golf and to get people excited about it. And not that Alfonso Ribeira brings the heat when it comes to a pop culture, but there are some celebrities there that are bringing new eyeballs to the game to watch that. You think it is jumped the shark, overplayed? Golf Twitter was saying the same thing. I'm done with Bill Murray because he's become a bit of a caricature of himself, right? Is that truly where that tournament dies? Is because it is not a serious tournament, and does that tarnish Tom Hoge's win because you got Bill Murray hitting putts with his back to the hole, and you got Alfonso Ribeira doing his dance in the middle of the fairway? Does that cheapen a win for Tom Hoge?
Absolutely not, right? So, I mean, and I know you're not saying that, but I certainly want to just come out and say absolutely not. You go back to Hudson Swafford a couple weeks ago at the Amex winning in that Pro-Am format, definitely those guys, 72 holes, going against Jordan Spieth at an iconic venue like that. If anything, with all of that going on in the 6-hour rounds and the nonsense, it might even just heighten his self-belief that he could ignore all that nonsense and then get the job done when it came down to it on Sunday. So it definitely doesn't devalue it at all. But the golf is meant to be entertaining, Adam. I don't need entertainers. I need birdies. right? I need more scoring. We talk about with the LPGA. Oh, let's have the LPGA play 7,000-yard golf courses and shoot 1 under for 4 days. No, right? What was great about the LPGA this weekend, they had a 3-round shootout, and somebody shot 18 under. Well, that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Tom Hoagie making birdies going, that shot he hit on 16 to like an inch, right? You could hear it in the announcers. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see the Carlton dance, right? If they do, they'll go watch, America's Funniest Home Videos, and they can see your family, happenings and stuff, for the whole nation to see. I mean, honestly, that's definitely never my point when it comes to being more entertaining. What's entertaining to me is watching Bryson drive the first green in the Ryder Cup and then pull out his putter on the tee box, like Excalibur, and be like, are you not entertained? That's what we're talking about.
Got it. All right, let's move on. Number 2, another first for a golfer and another first for a country, sir. Leona Maguire, first LPGA win. It's the drive-on. Excuse me. Pardon me. You have to remember, Keith, I'm a hack here, and I've also had a couple cocktails over the weekend. Drive-on championship, correct?
Yes. Yeah, LPGA Drive-on Championship.
Boom. That is a victory for me. The LPGA Drive-on Championship and a victory for her. Leona Maguire, such a bright young star that we've not – in this whole world that we've been talking about with the LPGA, we're hearing the same names over and over again week after week. This is a new name to many. She was part of the Spirit International years ago. She was an up-and-coming golfer at that point, and now she's here. She's arrived. Not only did she win her first tournament, but this is the first, I think, Ireland-born golfer to win an LPGA event and perhaps even a PGA event. This was massive weekend for her. Tell me your reaction to all that.
I tell you, I was handicapping Leona last weekend. I thought she'd be great over there at Boca Rio because they had terrible weather. It was like Irish weather. And she finished like 25th, 27th, something like that. But she was playing well. Why I didn't pick her again this week, I don't know. I'm a moron. But, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, she was on fire. And this has just been a long time coming because she's been on tour for 2 years. I mean, she makes tons of cuts. She's a great putter. She's really good, hits a ton of greens in regulation. I mean, she went to Duke, 4-time All-American. She holds the record, Adam, for the longest woman amateur to be number 1 in the world for 135 weeks.
Holy
I mean,
cow.
so it's cool to see her finally step up on a big stage like she did in September at Inverness when, she went undefeated at the Solheim Cup. She's the real deal, man. And it's kind of cool that, she's really the first big woman star from Ireland. As you mentioned, I didn't know that. So that's like a really cool thing that you just brought up there, that Ireland had never had a woman win on the LPGA Tour. And I mean, so I think you're going to see a lot more now that she's broken through. And I mean, she did it beating the likes of like Lexi had a charge on Sunday, and, Nellie's in the field. So I think it's awesome. Big thumbs up for Leona Maguire.
Yeah, that's a name we're gonna hear often. I think in the years to come, and we can't say it enough. Just the young talent, the excitement on the LPGA, the camaraderie, the family, the emotion that we're seeing out there, but more specifically, the amazing golf. And I saw Lexi Eagle hole out there from middle of the fairway throughout the weekend, and just some really stunning shots. I'm continually to be impressed by every single weekend that the LPGA is up.
So go back to your point. That to me is golf entertainment, right? If you watch that final round and Lexi's making a charge and she's one of the biggest names, right? And Leona's got to hold on for her first win. To me, as a fan of sports, that's what I want to see. I want to see the buzzer beater. I don't need to see, the guy that runs around at
Mark McGrath out there.
Yeah.
Lead singer Sugar Ray for the younger folks.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Mark McGrath.
Yeah.
What a neat fella.
Hey, Adam, I just want to fly. All right.
Who doesn't? All right, let's move on. Number 3. This is HV3. This is Harold Varner III. HV3 coming in with a win on the Asian Tour. The live right, live life.
Live life like Greg Norman.
Greg Norman extravaganza. The Saudi Invitational. There's so many names this thing has. It doesn't matter what it's called. HV3 a winner, and he's not won in quite some time. He is such a lovable fella, if I can use a phrase from the 50s. He is out there, and he won, and that's a big moment for him. Your reaction to HV3?
Huge win for him. And everybody loves this guy. I mean, everybody that talks to him in the media tent, every time you see him, last year we watched him for a couple holes with my son, and he wanted to go watch him because he wears Air Jordan shoes. Yep. And the guy was in the rough. He was like 10 feet from us, and my son was like, man, those shoes are fire. And he gave a big smile. I mean, HV3, you got to love this guy. He only has one professional win, like big-time professional win. That was 5 years ago at the Australian PGA. So to see him break through with this field, he jumps from like 94th or 95th in the official world rankings to inside the top 50. That opens up more playing opportunities for him. And to go back to I know your theme was first this week.
It was.
But I'm changing it. I'm changing it to the entertainment value. The guy makes eagle on the last hole from like 90 feet, drops this bomb to win. Yeah. He had won 5 years. I mean, just a tremendous theater right there. And he beats, of all people, some of one of your favorite guys, Bubba Watson.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. I'll tell you this, over the last couple of weeks, we've had so many first-timers. We've had so many first-time wins. We've had so many great moments. Luke List last week, the theater of him, as soon as he won, rushing to his family, not even shaking hands, and just rushing into the arms of his wife. And, his wife saying, hey, Daddy won the trophy. And just those kind of little moments. And then you got HV3 doing a member 90-foot bomb for the victory in front of all of his buddies there. It's awesome. You got Jordan Spieth hanging on the edge of a cliff, hitting shots. But let's not forget, you still got Bill Murray hitting a putt from 6 feet with his back to the hole. With all that, which is more entertaining?
I tell you what, we're just getting warmed up for this week. Waste management. That's
back. Right. It is back, and it's going to be better than ever. It is going to be huge. All right, so I would be remiss, Keith Stewart, Adam Grubb here at Stick and Neck Reacts, if I did not mention this reaction. Okay, it's a bonus react. So obviously it's 3 thumbs up. We got thumbs up all over the place for Tom, for Leona, and for Harold. All the victories,
how
all
do you
the stories, right? Everything's great, right? Everything's great in golf. But I need me. I like to take a turn towards Negativeville every now and then. So let's go to your boy Phil.
Well, hang on. Wait, we're thumbs down on the Pro-Am format. The LPGA is like hotter than ever. They have 3 weeks off till they go to Singapore. I'm thumbs down on that. Okay. And what do you get? What do you got for me from Saudi Arabia?
I'm not manufacturing negative thoughts. I'm just saying that overall we've been very positive. And every now and then I like to show, just kind of stir it up a little bit. So stirring it up, as your boy Phil does. Phil Mickelson, who some of you might have heard, he won the PGA Championship last year. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yep. At 50 years old. He came out over the week, and this is back to my favorite topic of Greg Norman and the live entertainment golf situation that's happening. And he said, and I will paraphrase, he said that the PGA has exorbitant greed, and that the way that they're running their organization and their association is, and the PGA Tour specifically, is greedy, that they don't give media rights, they don't do this, they don't do that. And if there's another place out there that's going to give them a more control over their livelihood and their golf, that he thinks that everyone should look at it. PGA players came out and they said, hey, this guy's out of his mind. He's talking to us about exorbitant amount of greed. Like he's taken a private jet to the fuel station down the road for a Slurpee. What are we talking about here? Keith, your reaction to your boy Phil calling out the PGA Tour.
Hey, it's not a good look for Phil. It's just not. The guy's worth probably $400-500 million. Adam, he owes his life, and all of that earning potential to the PGA Tour. I mean, he won as an amateur in college when he was at Arizona State, and he's won 40 plus times since then. The PGA Championship, the Ryder Cup, they've all built up his career and his resume. So I don't really know where all this is coming from. There's obviously some bad blood, and he's obviously drinking a lot of wine with Greg Norman or something, man. But I honestly, we've talked a lot about this, and we talked about it a bunch on Friday on air when on the Pro Show. And my worst fear in all of this is that like 20 guys jump over to this thing, and then all the Tiger disciples, the JTs, the Spieths, the Cantleys, the Morikawas, they're all going to stay over there at the PGA Tour, right? Because that's where your legacy is going to be built. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, Adam, I know the answer to this question, but are you going to go follow Bryson or are you going to go follow Morikawa?
Morikawa.
You know, when it comes to making decisions, right? Exactly.
Morikawa.
And so if we get this split, if there's a schism between these two tours, we're going to get what we actually don't want, which is we want the best players in the world playing against each other all the time. And if we split, it's going to go back to like the 80s when Seve and Faldo and Monty were all over in Europe, and then our guys were over here, and then we'd only see them 4 times a year. Like, we want to see them all the time. That's the entertainment thing. That's that undercurrent theme that we keep bringing up week in and week out. You don't get that if you don't have, like what you have this week, out in the desert. You've got the hottest golfer in the world, Victor Hovland. You've got Rahm, who's pissed off because he hasn't won in a while. You've got Brooks in the mix, who says he loves the crowds and everything. I mean, that you've got Spieth playing from cliffs. He's going to go out in the desert and probably wrestle a snake this week. I mean, it's going to be awesome. You know, like all the while.
Hold on a second. Just relax. Let me back up for a half second because we're running out of time. Right. We could dedicate an entire show to this, and I think we should. We should just react to all of the craziness that this is going to be, because I'm agreeing with you. I love the theater of the whole thing, but if it actually came down to it, it's no different. In the history of sport, what split has ever actually worked? When you look at the IRL and CART back in the 90s, when you look at I guess maybe the NFL back in the day when they made their own deal. But for the most part, any league that is specifically designed and has history and has this nucleus of talent and amazingness, to split off from that has never worked. It becomes a circus. And if you know, Tom Hoagie's go over to that side, okay, good for Tom, because he's going to make some money, and he's going to make more money. He's going to make on the PGA Tour perhaps. But at the end of the day, eyeballs aren't going to move over for Tom Hoagie. So
no,
what are we talking about? Let's do that, and then we'll make a solid promise here live on the air. Stick and Hack Reacts, that we will dedicate an entire show to this, to the nitty gritty of the details, because I still need to understand more about it. But I think the listeners would be fascinated to know really what this means and what this could mean down the road. He's Keith Stewart from ESPN Radio, host of the Pro Show, and Read the Line. I'm Adam Grove of Stick and Hack. Thank you for being a part of Stick and Hack Reacts, our weekly reaction to the PGA and the LPGA. Obviously, a lot coming up this weekend with the Weights Management Open. I can't wait for Monday to hear your take on it. Let's hope for an incredible weekend of golf, a fun weekend, and enjoy your rest of your afternoon. Thanks for listening, and Godspeed to you and yours.
Adam, always love lunch with you on Monday, man. Thanks. Awesome job.
Later on.